I get what you're doing. She's gonna get hurt. She's going into traffic. So the lady in the red dress, she's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna hit her. She's going into traffic, right? I get what she's doing.
You need to go talk to her.
I tried that, and so somebody else didn't want to talk to that. So maybe she'll listen to somebody who doesn't want her to get hurt either.
So we're going up and we're standing up right now. Like what we're doing today is that we're taking direct action. Direct action that has started from years and years ago, but we're lifting the veil of that fear mentality. You can see all the police that are standing here right now, and they know just as well as I do if they act respectful, obviously we're going to act respectful. But it is getting to a point where we're going to start challenging that even more so, because that's what civil disobedience is about. And it's okay to stand there and take a stand and say, yes, enough is enough. We've had enough. We're going to take a stand. This is going to go, not going to continue on anymore.
Hi there everyone, Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth. We're here at the Shut Down Canada protest. As you can see, there's about 150 people who have amassed here at this intersection of East Hastings and Clark. So we're going to go in here and speak to some of the protesters today to find out why they want to shut down Canada.
We're organizing here to shut down Canada, basically raise awareness for what's going on, the murdered and missing Indigenous women in Canada. There's thousands of women from Indigenous cultures that have been murdered and taken away from their families. In Indigenous cultures, women are the pillar of their community, and what we're seeing is a systematic destruction of their peoples.
I'm known as Daniel Cooper, and I came here to support, an inquiry into the missing and murdered women. It seems the Harper government's been ignoring them after repeated calls since their first day in office. So I'm a little concerned about the idea of shutting down the economy per se, but when you've got no recourse with the government, I mean, you're reaching for answers, so.
And notice your sign says, I'm a protester, not a terrorist. Can you explain that?
Well, with the politics of fear that seem to be taking over for opportunist reasons by the leadership of our nation, they're taking advantage of a situation of getting the powers they've always been after.
What is the definition of terrorism?
Well, it's organized. Definition. That's a loaded question. I really can't give it any definition in that. But the main reason why I'm out here is I want the country back that I was raised in. I'm seeing a whole generation going to be raised under the scope of normalization of fear. And that's not what the nation was that we had.
What is the goal, I suppose, by these kinds of tactics? What's the hopes to achieve by shutting down the road?
Well, I wouldn't say it's so much a tactic. This is symbolism more than anything else. I mean, we're not going to shut the country down or anything like this, but it's...
So isn't it really just inconveniencing all these people on their way to work?
Sorry to hear about their luck. I mean, everybody should be at work right now that's at work. This is lunchtime. It's a good time for them to come out from their offices and their workplaces, come and join us.
For anybody who's wondering how these types of actions can lead towards finding these women, or how does this help the situation really?
Yeah, so up until a few years ago, that kind of idea that there actually are these missing women weren't wasn't actually a talking point, and now we see it actually happening in Parliament where that's coming up. We have MPs actually bringing this type of inquiry to the table.
A lot of the goal is obviously to raise awareness about the issue of the missing Indigenous women, but where do we go from there? Is the call to have the government do something about it?
Naturally, I think the government must do something about it. It's pretty clear that there's a strong call for it. I've looked at some graphs, and there is definitely an unproportionate number of Indigenous women going missing, and there seems to be some kind of systemic or cultural issue behind this, and I really do believe a national inquiry may help shed some light on this.
But, isn't it asking the very same people who are almost responsible for the crime to look into the crime?
Good point there. Well, where else would you go? Right? You know, they've got all the funding, they've got all the professionals in their back pocket, and I mean, unless there's a new body of people who are independently funded, where else do you go?
Press for Truth, man.
How are you
I
doing?
love your shows, man.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Hey, do you mind? Can we do a quick interview with you about what's going on here?
Once these guys are done, we're taking over the intersection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we can talk a little bit later.
All right, great.
My name's Dan Wallace. I'm from Cape Mudge, Campbell River area, Lake Wiktuk, Weewaka. I'm a hereditary chief from my nation. What we're here for today is we're beginning to start showing people that taking direct action is another step. Rallies of the past, marches in the past, it only takes us so far, and it helps people unite to a certain degree, but nothing is really being taken seriously anymore. You know, with this new bill that's coming out, Bill C-51, when it's actually directly challenging people's fundamental Charter of Rights here in Canada, so to speak, people need to be afraid. I mean, you don't need to be tagged as a terrorist for coming out here and having a protest, standing up against government. So that's, you know, that in itself should be enough to light a fire under everybody to act up and start directly challenging government.
I was following the shutdown hashtag on Twitter, and I was just following the Vancouver one and saw some talks with your name coming up of people suggesting you might be a provocateur or something like that. What do you say to the people who are suggesting that these are acts of provocation?
Come and take a stand.
Fine.
United.
I mean, if I'm going to be tagged as a provocateur, I mean, I don't get paid by anybody. I'm an independent artist. I make my own living as an artist. Nobody's paying me to do anything, and I'm not affiliated with any police organization or anything like that. So I mean, you know, if it's a rumor, then you know, fine. Let it be a rumor.
Would you consider yourself a kind of not for government, right? I mean, I guess what I'm failing to understand is the call to get the government to do something about the situation with the missing women, or is it about raising awareness?
It's about both. I mean, you know, the way we want to start bridging a gap between people's understanding is we have to now start taking civil disobedient actions to send government a message, but also create more of an awareness, because mainstream media isn't doing their job. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here doing this.
This is the Vancouver Police Department. We're currently obstructing traffic, public access, and endangering public safety. Please move on to the designated protest area on the sidewalk for your own safety and the safety of the general public. Thank you for your cooperation. If you do not leave immediately, you will be arrested.
Well, we've come to the end of Shutdown Canada, and was it a success? Well, it's tough to say, really. The protesters were allowed to occupy this intersection for upwards of 5 hours, and I think they did get their message out about the missing Indigenous women, and things were going relatively smoothly here. The Vancouver police were relatively calm and courteous. until, you know, the evening kind of came on and protesters began getting a lot more aggressive with taking over the traffic, and as you can see from the footage here, some of them started getting arrested. But all in all, I think it was done without too much incident, and the protesters had their voice heard, and essentially the thing that really shut down Canada here in Vancouver is actually the rain.